In the frozen skies over the Alps during World War II, German Luftwaffe pilots faced more than just enemy fire. They battled the cold, the wind, and, well, the deadly thin air of high altitudes where a forced landing could mean instant exposure. The air war over Europe wasn't just about machines and dogfights, it was, about endurance. And survival often came down to one small metal box carried in every flight jacket, the Notnahrung und Überlebensdose, or emergency survival tin. To the untrained eye, it looked ordinary, a compact container not much larger than a tobacco tin. But to a downed pilot, stranded on a mountain ridge or in the snowfields of Austria, it was the difference between freezing to death and making it home. Inside were carefully chosen materials, waxed wool, stormproof matches, compressed rations, and even vitamin-enriched chocolate. Every gram had a purpose, and the chemistry and fieldcraft behind this small kit still serve as a survival blueprint today. Let's unpack how this tiny German survival tin worked and what it can still teach us about staying alive in extreme conditions. The tin was engineered to fit the pilot's body, not the cockpit. German flight crews had strict equipment standards, and by 1942 each pilot flying missions over the Alps or Scandinavia was issued a personal survival tin designed for high-altitude emergencies. Unlike bulky rucksacks or gear pouches, the tin had to fit in a flight jacket pocket or side holster. It was airtight, water-resistant, and built from lightweight aluminum or tin plate to withstand rapid temperature changes. Its design reflected a core principle of survival engineering efficiency through compactness. Every item had to serve multiple functions. The container itself could double as a small pan for melting snow or boiling water over a flame. The lid, lined with thin cork or cardboard, could be used as an insulator, or, when polished, as a signal mirror. Even the internal wrapping materials, usually wax paper and wool, were repurposable as fuel, padding, or waterproofing. This focus on adaptability is still one of the strongest takeaways for anyone building a modern survival kit. A good emergency kit isn't just about packing tools. It's about choosing materials that can perform double or even triple duty under stress. One of the most overlooked contents of the Luftwaffe tin was a compact roll of waxed wool. It might seem insignificant, but in freezing air, that small roll could save a pilot's life. Waxed wool combines the insulating power of natural fibres with the water resistance of paraffin wax. It stays warm even when damp, and when ignited it burns slowly and intensely, crucial for starting fires at altitude. If a pilot found himself ejected or crashed in deep snow, his uniform alone wouldn't keep him alive for very long, The waxed wool could be wrapped around the hands, stuffed inside boots, or even used as tinder to start a fire using the storm matches also packed inside the tin. The wax coating repelled moisture, and the lanolin in the wool added natural flame resistance, an ingenious combination of biology and chemistry long before synthetic fabrics existed. This principle, it remains highly relevant today. Modern survivalists can make their own waxed wool by melting paraffin and lightly coating strips of wool cloth or yarn, letting them dry flat. These can be carried in small rolls or wrapped in foil. When used, they work as emergency insulation or reliable fire-starting material that burns even in snow or rain. A fire at high altitude meant more than just warmth. It meant signalling, sterilizing, and morale. Standard matches were quite useless above the snow line, where wind and moisture killed flames instantly. That's why the Germans included Sturmstreichhölzer, or storm matches, coated with a thick compound of potassium chlorate and resin. These matches burned with a fierce, bright flame for up to 10 seconds, even in wind or sleet. Each tin typically held around a dozen matches, sealed in wax paper to protect them from moisture. Alongside them sat a roughened striker pad fixed to a thin metal plate that doubled as a windshield. Pilots were trained to light matches facing the wind, shielding them with cupped hands and using the waxed wool or chocolate foil as a starter surface. Today, survival experts still recommend similar technology, modern stormproof matches or ferro rods. But the principle is unchanged. The key lesson is redundancy. Fire-starting methods must work when wet, cold and exhausted. You can even replicate the old Luftwaffe approach by dipping ordinary matches in molten wax to waterproof them, storing them in a small tin with a strip of emery paper for ignition. Perhaps the most iconic and misunderstood item in the emergency tin was the Notnahrungstafel, a high-calorie chocolate bar fortified with caffeine and vitamins. German chemists developed these bars specifically for pilots exposed to thin, cold air, where oxygen deprivation and fatigue set in quickly. Each bar delivered an instant energy spike while maintaining blood sugar stability, a key factor in preventing altitude hypoxia symptoms like dizziness and confusion. These bars weren't luxury food. They were medicine in edible form. The chocolate contained added glucose, vitamin B complex, and sometimes even trace stimulants like cola extract or guarana. The fat content was deliberately high, slowing digestion and releasing energy over several hours. It kept body temperature stable and gave pilots enough endurance to hike or crawl toward populated areas if they survived a crash. In modern survival planning, this principle still holds. Compact, high-fat and vitamin-enriched food beats bulky, carbohydrate-heavy options. A small bar of dark chocolate, nut butter or compressed trail food can sustain energy without adding weight. You can even create a modern equivalent by mixing melted dark chocolate with powdered milk, honey and vitamin tablets, then pouring it into molds to harden. It's not far from the wartime recipe, and it works just as well. Every element of the Luftwaffe survival tin, waxed wool, storm matches, fortified chocolate, was born from hard testing, not guesswork. German aviation medicine in the 1940s was among the first to study hypothermia, altitude exposure, and caloric efficiency in cold weather. Their data directly informed what went into each kit. The result was a system that prioritized practical chemistry and compact design, rather than sheer quantity of supplies. The lesson here isn't nostalgia, it's strategy. A survival kit should always be guided by real needs and tested principles. Protection from exposure, the ability to create fire, and access to quick, dense energy are the universal pillars of survival, whether you're a pilot over the Alps or a hiker in the Rockies. Even now, climbers and air crews use variants of that same philosophy. The tin may have evolved into modern emergency pouches and compact gearboxes, but the thinking hasn't changed. Survival depends on knowledge, preparation, and simplicity. What those pilots carried wasn't just equipment, it was distilled experience. Every item represented a lesson learned from real crashes, real rescues, and real endurance in brutal environments. That's what makes this story worth remembering. If you're drawn to history that connects practical science with human survival, the kind that shows how design and discipline make the difference between life and death, then you're in the right place. Subscribe to In the Beginning and share this episode with someone who appreciates how small innovations from the past continue to shape how we survive today. Because in that little metal tin carried over the Alps lies one of history's purest examples of human ingenuity under pressure. And its lessons still keep people alive.